So while we're working on the cab, it's going to take some time for this rust inhibitor to dry and do its magic. So we're going to apply this on the frame. I would like to put the same undercoating that you saw over on the cab on the frame here. There are some parts that I'm just not going to take apart. These, what would you call these? Press bolts or press rivets? There's not a nut and bolt. It is just pressed together. So in that situation, I'm just going to leave that be, do my best to neutralize the rust, and then seal over it. Apply a healthy layer. Just really make sure to get it in all the corners. I feel like Bob Ross right now on video. Happy little trees. Do you guys ever hear the rumor that if you put all of the Bob Ross paintings in chronological order, he was actually taking you through a trail in the woods, like an adventure in the woods? I don't know. So you can kind of see the difference maybe on the frame rails from here up to there. This is a darker color, almost black. This spot has been treated by phosphoric acid. I get this stuff from E&E Lumber Supply. You've been using it for years, but it neutralizes the rust, changes it from iron oxide to iron phosphate. So you can, once it dries, get any scaling. It turns white in some spots, like you can see there. So if that builds up, you want to clean that off with a wire brush, and then of course degrease your surface. You can paint right over it. So just using this POR 15. You can see from this point here over to the other side, we've already put one layer on that. I'm doing the same with our other cross members, radiator cross members, all the pieces that are currently rusty. Just kind of doing a quick and dirty job of this. There's nothing really wrong with this front cowl area here except this one dent. We've got some patching that needs to go in, but everything's ready to go except for obviously this guy. I kept finding more and more as I was deburring it, and we're just gonna make it one big funky shaped hole. So get that. The windshield seal, they had used something similar to glazing and bedding compound to seal that gasket. So I'll just use this general purpose adhesive cleaner. It works real well. You get a manufacturer's product, you almost want to use their proprietary cleaner. The dash pad's going back on here, so I'm not getting too carried away cleaning the dash up, but got all these vents and windshield wiper arm holes cleaned up. I think I will patch that. I was able to get this dent out pretty well from underneath here, but still need a little bit of, you can kind of see a little bit of Bondo to flatten that out side. I didn't record any of the painting on this cab, but once I get down to the fenders and the doors, I'll be sure to include you guys on that process. Well, I'll take you on a little recap. Went ahead and crawled underneath here, neutralized all the rust, and coated with that POR 15. That stuff, I like it. I'm gonna stop here. Eventually, once I tend to the rims, I'll coat all these bits here. Got this section here across to the other side, drying with that phosphoric acid. Got all the old rivets out, got that orange banner off. Had to clean this up with, well, first some soap and water, and then soap and water and a green Brillo pad. It's stuck on there pretty bad, but we'll go ahead and buff it out before the cab goes back on. The ceiling hasn't been touched yet, but still a lot of work to do there. I need these round corner caps. I'll show you those in a little bit. They go here. I'm not too concerned about cleaning underneath that. There's 1, 2, 3, I think 4 rivets that hold it on, and then all these. So we'll freshen that corner piece up before it goes back on. Once it's washed, I'll go ahead and seal this seam right here. And I'll go ahead and seal these rivets here. They'll be underneath that corner piece, so they're not going to get exposed to water. But if for some reason they do, I want them sealed. Same with these guys. These were just for holding that orange banner. These are structural, so those will go back in. Same with all of these guys. It doesn't look terrible. I got the hydraulic, excuse me, it's a vacuum canister for the hydromatic brakes. I'd like to put it here in between those step supports. Maybe cut out a sliver of the back wall of the step so that you can see the tank, almost like a miniature version of a little Kenworth or something. You know how they have the tanks on the side with the saddle steps? So I'm trying to focus on getting certain things done, certain things that are preventing the cab from going back on. So not all of these patch panels are done, because I can do this with the cab on the frame. So we're gonna put the dash pad back on, and headliner, obviously, so why waste the paint, right? I'm gonna bring the carpet up to that point there, maybe a little aluminum trim piece to connect, you know, to for the separation. The spray gun, actually, I made the clear pretty thick, and it started to gum up inside the spray gun when I was doing the inside of the cab. So instead of a fan when you're spraying the paint, it was just this little tiny section. So I'm sitting there just trying to get it all in there. I think I was out here till 8 o'clock, but I tried to make this separation line here. I don't know if you remember the old photos. From here down onto the fender was orange. So we're obviously going with this. It's as close as the paint company, thank you Rhonda, could get to Baja Beige. So that's era specific color to these Fords. So I tried to get the line across here. So hopefully we're not off. I didn't have a long enough straight edge to set underneath here and touch the other side, so I just kind of eyeballed it. If we're really far off, I might have to just do like a W or like a squiggle line or something to kind of break that up. I don't know. But I don't think it turned out pretty good. I like it. Put the window back in. We can do the windshield once it's back on the frame. The next things that I want to do to this is patch these panels here, because those are going to be tough to get to with it on the frame. And that's these. And then this guy right here. So we'll get those 3 in, weld them, grind them, seal them, and then coat them. And so you can see here, I didn't do any seam sealer up in this joint right here, just waiting on those patch panels. So it'll look, you know, it'll be sealed up like this side. Oh, that big cancerous spot over here. It's not perfect, and that's all right, because that hood hinge is, the foot of it is massive, so a lot of this will be hidden. So I got kind of a little reckless with the sealer. The antenna is no more, and then there was there were 2 holes here that they had some hot negative 12 volt leads sticking out of the glove box area there for it said CB antenna or CB radio. These are those corner pieces I was telling you about. So this taller one goes on the driver's side, the shorter one goes on the passenger side. For the, well, to clear the tank, you can see where it stops right there. Oh, if anybody knows how to get these tanks off, it's really a special Ford thing. So there is a nut. So there's a strap. The strap that goes around to hold the tank up. There's a tension bolt right here, and then there's a nut behind right here. I can feel it. There is 2 nuts and bolts that hold this bracket up onto the frame. One goes through here, one goes through right behind this tension nut. I'm not sure what Ford was thinking or how they expected anybody to drop this tank, but if anybody knows the proper way to get that done, I'd love to hear it. You know, if I can't figure it out, there is a little gap here. Let's see, where is it? Right there. There's a little air gap in between the strap and the tank where I could just cut off wheel, just cut that strap on both sides. So that tank's got to come out. I'm sure it's disgusting on the inside, but it's not pushing any fuel. It's not letting any fuel by. So I got the fuel line off. I'm sure that thing needs new inner lining, so I got some red coat. I don't know if you guys have ever used that stuff. It's great. Once the inside of the tank is clean, then we just coat it with a new internal layer, and then obviously, you know, freshen up the outside. Try and find a locking gas cap for sure. Anyways, that's what we got. Oh, this is the vacuum tank that I was telling you about. I've got to figure out the volume on that. I think it's pi times radius squared times height, I think. But you could always do a duplicate here on the other side to match and have that actually be an air tank. 'Cause man, I would love to have a train horn. Just a couple other things getting treated for rust right now. But that's all I got for you guys. I'll talk to you later. Happy Labor Day, everybody.